Hello everyone, we are going to begin with a new topic today, that is consumer protection. Uh, hope you all must have already got a reading by now, because it was informed to you earlier itself that I am going to start with the new topic called consumer protection from your commerce. Alright, so before we begin with the chapter consumer protection, it's important to know who a consumer is. So, consumer, dear students, is a person who is using a particular product or service. Like all the humans, we are consumers. We use goods and services in some or the other way. Goods, again, we have here durable goods and consumable goods. Consumable goods, they are perishable in nature, like vegetables, fruits, dairy products, and so on. And durable goods, they have a little longer duration, like your books, blackboard, refrigerator, TVs, and so on. And to speak about services, services are also the things which we use, but we don't see them, we can't touch them. For example, the electricity, or the cooking gas, transportation, the mobile services, and so on. So basically what I mean to say is, every human is a potential consumer. He uses goods or services in some or the other way. Only thing is, it differs from place to place because of the different patterns of consumption and buying capacities, again because of the factors in that particular geographical area. It could be the social factors, it could be the political factors, or it could be the environmental factors of that particular area. So what we generally do is, we buy a product for a consideration, that is by paying a price, and we use it. Why do we buy? To use it and feel satisfied, feel happy about that good, that item, that product, or the service which we have taken. But it is not always that we are happy, we are satisfied with the services or the products which we are buying. It could be because of any reason, any wrong practice which that commercial organization has followed. It could be adulteration ante kalti, or it could be because of overcharging, extra price which we have paid on the product, which doesn't deserve to be paid so much, or the quality of the product is not good, or the quantity which is given to us is less. So it could be any malpractice. So are we going to accept this wrong which is happening to us, where we are being exploited, where we are being used? Are we going to just follow that? We should not, and we will not. And that is why this Consumer Protection Act has come into use. It was launched in 1986 to protect the consumers from such malpractices, from such wrong doings. So that is about consumer protection, so that we will have various legal measures are there, mechanisms are there to clear the grievances, the problems of the consumers. So here in this chapter, dear students, you will be learning about the rights and responsibilities. First and foremost, you will learn the concept of consumer protection. Then you will see various legal provisions and mechanisms available. Then you will see the redressal mechanism, who can file a complaint, where the complaint can be filed. You will learn about different forums, district forum, state forum, and national forum. So that is about this chapter, what you will be learning. So consumer is a person who is actually using the goods, or services. So but as per the law, in the eyes of law, consumer is a person who is actually buying the product, and also the person who is using the product with the approval of the buyer is called as a consumer. Now what does this mean is, for example, if this book, I'm using this book is bought by my nephew. So he is the consumer. At the same time, I am also using it. I am also consumer here. Okay, he is the customer who has bought the book, and I am the consumer who is actually using the book. So that is what these lines speak about as per the law, in the eyes of our law, who is treated as a consumer Don't worry, in detail, in further of the chapter, I'll be explaining you when we come to the definitions of the consumer. Okay, so that was about consumer. Now, a new concept you'll come across in this chapter, that is consumerism. Consumerism means protecting the consumer. So to protect the consumer, there are various activities which are taken up by the government or business organizations or some special institutions. So these activities which are used for protecting the consumers is called as consumerism. Okay, if we have to talk about the relationship between the buyer and seller, in olden days, they used to follow the concept of caveat emptor, which means buyer be aware. Means the buyer is supposed to be cautious when he is buying the products. Then came the open markets where buyer and seller came in contact with face to face. There the buyer had a chance to examine the product and check the quantity and buy it. But now in today's uh, in this era of globalization where the revolutionary information technology has taken up so much that there is not much scope left for the buyer to be so choosy. Yes, ample varieties are there, but then the product till it reaches to the buyer, there is no guarantee that it is the thing which the buyer actually wanted to take. Because of this information technology, because of the e-commerce, the electronic buying and selling of things, the online purchasing, many a times it has happened. If you see online, if I'm sure most of you must be doing online shopping, so you sometimes it happens that we order something and we receive something, we return it back, or some gets adjusted, some even lodge a complaint. So this is how different people, different views. So what I mean to say basically is the buyer is becoming weak and very unorganized day by day, whereas the seller is becoming strong and organized because of the improvements in the manufacturing activities these days. So basically what I want to say is, we all are consumers, we use products in some or the other way, and when we feel that we are being exploited, means where the seller is using us, making not supplying us the proper product or the service, we should raise our voice, we should speak against that injustice which is done to us through the product. It could be any, and we can file a case in the consumer court. Like Mahatma Gandhi ji, the father of our nation, he has very rightly said, he has given great importance to what he has described as poor consumer, who according to him is actually the principal beneficiary of this consumer moment. So here Gandhiji is speaking in the point of view of the business organization, of the commercial organization. Now what he is saying is that consumer is the most important person on our business premises. He is not dependent on us, we are dependent on him. He is not an interruption to our work, he is the purpose of our work. He is not an outsider to our organization, to our premises. He is a part of it. We are not serving him, we are not doing a favor by serving him. He is doing a favor on us by providing us an opportunity to serve him. Just see how beautifully quoted by Mahatma Gandhi ji, the importance of a consumer. And so that was about the concept of consumer, dear students. This was the introduction. If we have to talk about the definition of consumers, again it is the definitions are given in two different ways, like consumer for goods and consumer for services. Now consumer definition as per the goods is one who buys any good for consideration and any user of such good other than the person who buys it, provided such use is made by the approval of the buyer. So this is the definition about the consumer as per the goods, dear students. So what they mean here is a person who is buying a product, buying an item, buying a good by paying some amount, that is what is called as consideration here, and the person who is actually using it with the approval of the person who has actually bought it is called as consumer. Okay, and if we have to talk about the definition of a consumer as per the services, here it goes like this: one who hires a service or services, and any beneficiary of such service, and who has availed these services with the approval of the person who has actually hired the service for a consideration, is concerned as a consumer as per services. So again the same here, services, if it is taken up by a person who has paid for it, but then it is used, that particular service is used by some other person with the approval of the person who has actually purchased it, bought it, taken it, that is called he is called as a consumer. So that was about the definitions of consumer, dear students. And next topic is the concept of consumer protection. Now here, till here you have understood who a consumer is. Now consumer protection means safeguarding the interest and rights of the consumers, various measures, actions which are taken for the redressal, for clearing the problems, for clearing the grievances of the consumers. That is what is the concept of consumer protection. So what are the problems that we are trying to protect the consumers from? What are the malpractices? If we have to talk about these, the first and foremost will be sale of adulterated goods, where the inferior quality is mixed with the product and it is sold in the market. For example, let us say if we are taking a wheat flour and there is a mix of maida into it, that is adulterated. For example, if we bought some chickpeas, there are too many stones into it, the stones are added, so it is an adulteration. So means the natural product, mixing it with some other inferior quality of product, is adulteration. So that is first and foremost problem which we see in the market, is sale of adulterated goods. Then we have the sale of spurious goods, means the same brand will be used of some product, but then quality of that product won't be there. And then we have sale of substandard goods which are not up to the mark as the product should be. Then we have a sale of duplicate goods are there in the market. So we have to protect ourselves from all these mishappenings in the market related to the products and services. Then use of wrong weights and measures which lead to for showing the weight as underweight. Then we have charging more price than the maximum retail price. We pay more than what is the product actually is supposed to be paid. Then supply of inferior services, like as the services are set, promised to be given, but they are not given as such. For example, if I am going to a Goa and I was said that accommodation will be a 3-star hotel, but I am given a 2-star hotel accommodation by these travel agencies. So there I am cheated. There rather than cheated, I would say that I am exploited. So in such a situation, I can raise my voice, I can put a case on that particular travel agency in the consumer court. So what I mean to say is charging more than what the price of the product or service is. Then we have hoarding and black marketing, like the goods which are stocked there, though demand is there, but they are not being released into the market, waiting for the demand even to grow, and later on the sellers, they sell it for the businessmen, the organizations, they sell it for more price. So that is again hoarding and black marketing. So these were the few malpractices which are very prevalent in the market these days, from which we all have to be very careful and protect ourselves. And we all have now Consumer Protection Act with us. There are so many yes, you will see further in this chapter. So basically this is the concept of consumer protection, dear students. In tomorrow's class I'll explain you what is the importance of Consumer Protection Act and also the rights and responsibilities of a consumer. Thank you.